Hello everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of today's video, May 7th of 2020. We're on page 106 in your student book, which is Unit 8, Lesson F, Another View. So in this part of the video, we're going to read and fill out a job application. So has anyone ever filled out a job application before? Job application? If you haven't, this is how a job application is going to look like. Not exactly, but similar, very similar. So here, just let me read this. Application for employment, employment history, list most recent job first. So first, uh, here we have application for employment. This section is where we put our personal information and basically why we're which position that we want to apply for, especially which job we're applying for. So as you can see here, we have a name, social security number. I'll get back to this later. We have address, phone number. Here's a question whether you're old enough to work, and this is the important part, position desired. So as I said, this is where you put your personal information. And here we have something called social security number. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what social security number is. So if you don't, social security number is a number that is issued by the government that you must have to get in order to get a job in the United States. So you need to have a social security number to get a job in the United States. So this is pretty important. And another one is the position desired. So here you want to, this means that you want to, this means the job that you want to get by filling out the application form. And so social security number and position desired, that's what it means. And now we have employment history. So this is a section where you write down your uh, uh, the jobs that you've had in the past. So employment history, list most recent job. So you just write your past jobs that you had in order. But here, this first one will be the most recent one. So we have dates, employee name and address, position. So for example, here I could say a position desired. I could say I want to become a manager. That's what I'm going for. Let's do this. Manager. Manager. Um, I could be a manager of a restaurant or a manager of somewhere else. But let's say the most recent job was from, I worked at, let's see, some kind of a shoe factory, let's say. So let's say 19. So January, for the dates, I need to write January 9th, 2019 to present. So this means that I'm still working there, but I'm looking for a new job. That's why I'm filing. So it's present. I'm not going to write the address for the address for where I work, but I'm just going to write the employer name. So it's just the name of the company that you're working for. So in this case, I'm going to call it. I'll just call it the factory. The factory. That's the name of a place that I work at. The factory. Okay, this is the name of the company that I'm working for. And my position right now is salesperson. Sales. Yeah, it's hard to write. Ooh. So we have a date, January 9, 2019 to present right now. The employer name, the name of the company that I'm working for is called The Factory. And position is salesperson. Salesperson is a person who tries to sell you something. But now I'm filing I'm filing a application for employment because I want to work as my new job. At a new job, I want to be a manager. That's what I'm going for. So manager, this is what I'm going for. So this is what I'm right now. This is what I want to be. So that's why I am filling out this application. So now with that in mind, let's try to read these questions and I'll fill in the answer. So here, read the questions, look at the job application, fill in the answer. This is job application. So number 1, where do you write the job you want? So we have line 5, line 6, line 8, and line 10. Line 5 is, are you 16 years old or older? So this is asking about age. Line 6 is position desired. So this is where I would write the job I want. So it's B. B. Oh, B. And just to make sure, let's go over line 8 and line 10. So line 8, if you look at line 8, this is, as I mentioned before, employment history. This is where you're going to write the jobs that you've had in the past. So it has nothing to do with the job that you want. In line 10, this is important. Show your social security card at the time you present this application. So it's just an extra information that you need to, when you're applying this form, you need to have your social security card with you. Okay, so the answer is B. Number 2, the form says list most recent job first. Which of the following date is the most recent? So most recent, so here we have 2012 to 2014, 2015 to 2017, 2015 to present, 2010 to 2016. So which of the following dates is the most recent? Most recent. This is the important part. So if you look at here we have 2014, 2017, 2016, but then we have present. This present means right now. So if you think about it, this present could be, it could be 2020, as in right now, or it could be, so this is present, so let's say, no, let's not do that. So because present means right now, it doesn't mean that's 2016, 2017, or 2014. Right now. So what's right now is the present time. So right now it's 2020, so that would be the most recent. Most recent. So most of the time, if you are writing your most recent date for employment history, you would write starting date of this. Like for example, I wrote January 9 of 2019 to present. So right now it's 2020. The date is May 7th of 2020. That's what I would. but it keeps going, so it doesn't mean I have to write that exact date. I could just write present because I'm still holding on to the job right now. And then number 3, what do you show with your application? What do you show? If we go back to the job application at line 10, it says important, show your social security card at the time you present this application. So not a library, we don't need a library card. Photograph, no. They didn't mention anything about a driver's license, but we do need a social security card for my application. So D is the answer for number 3. Number 4, where do you write your phone number? So where do we write our phone number? Go back. And then phone number has to do with personal information. So let's go. So we can see that here we have phone. So line 4 will be the correct answer. And now, exercise 1B. Solve the problem. Which solution is best? Circle your opinion. Carla is filling out a job application. She had 2 jobs before, but she can't remember the dates. What should she do? Leave it blank. Call her old employer. Take the application home. 4. So if this was my application and I can't remember the dates of my previous 2 jobs, I wouldn't leave it blank. So when you're filling out a job application is really important. You know, you're trying to uh, make a new career. So you don't want to leave it blank, and you don't want to take the application home, right? You want to finish it in the spot. So, and then here it says call her old employer. No, this isn't what I would do either. I would just I'm pretty sure I would have a record of this back at home. So I'll call home and then ask, you know, one of my family members to check on my computer where I keep all this information, you know, because I think when people leave their previous jobs, they do have a record kept somewhere. And it's kind of a excuse. I mean, it's kind of rude to call your old employer when you quit at that previous job. So, yeah, I would. So, I think the best thing I could do in this situation would be um, number 2 or number 4. So, as I said before, I usually would not want to take the application home, but I'll just take the application home and find the information that I was looking for at home and fill it out there. Or I will call someone at my house, one of my family members, to find the information that I was looking for because I should have the record of the dates of my 2 previous jobs before, somewhere in the house or in my computer. So that's what I would do. Okay. And then now we're going to go page 107. Okay, now we're on page 107. Let's do exercise 2. Grammar connection be with and but. Okay, let me read this out to you. Use and to show things that are the same. Use but to show things that are different. So let me read this one really fast. Sid is at work today, and he was at work yesterday. Nat is at work today, but she wasn't at work yesterday. Anna isn't at work today, and she wasn't at work yesterday. Len and Eva aren't at work today, but they were at work yesterday. Okay, let's go over the video and then do the rest of the exercises. So let's first look at this. Okay, here we go.
B. With and but. Unit 8, Lesson F. Using and to show things are the same. Using but to show things are different. Watch and listen.
John is at work today, and he was at work yesterday. John is at work today, and he was at work yesterday.
Carmen is at work today, but she wasn't at work yesterday. Carmen is at work today, but she wasn't at work yesterday.
Anna isn't at work today, and she wasn't at work yesterday. Anna isn't at work today, and she wasn't at work yesterday.
Carmen and Pedro are at work today, but they weren't at work yesterday. Carmen and Pedro are at work today, but they weren't at work yesterday.
Check your understanding. Look at the picture of John today. Look at the picture of John yesterday. Complete the sentence about John. Then listen to the answer.
John is at work today, and he was at work yesterday.
Look at the picture of Carmen today. Look at the picture of Carmen yesterday. Complete the sentence about Carmen. Then listen to the answer.
Carmen is at work today, but she wasn't at work yesterday.
Look at the picture of Anna today. Look at the picture of Anna yesterday. Complete the sentence about Anna. Then listen to the answer.
Anna isn't at work today, and she wasn't at work yesterday.
Look at the picture of Carmen and Pedro today. Look at the picture of Carmen and Pedro yesterday. Complete the sentence about Carmen and Pedro. Then listen to the answer.
Carmen and Pedro are at work today, but they weren't at work yesterday.
Let's review.
Sid is at work today, and he was at work yesterday.
Anna isn't at work today, and she wasn't at work yesterday.
Nat is at work today, but she wasn't at work yesterday.
Len and Eva aren't at work today, but they were at work yesterday.
Okay, we're done with the video. Okay. So now let's take a look at the pictures down here. We have today, this is a today's picture, and this is yesterday. What we're gonna do is we're going to compare these two pictures and see what are we're gonna write we're going to see what are things that are the same and the things that are different, okay? And by just looking at the pictures, on today we have John, Carmen, Sandra, Phil, Maggie, and Pedro. That's who we have today. And yesterday we have John, Laura, Sandra, Bao, Maggie, Larry. So by comparing these two pictures, we notice that And yesterday, Carmen, Phil, and Pedro weren't at work yesterday, even though they're here today. So how would I write this in a sentence? I'll show it right here. Hold on. So this is what I would write. Here. So remember, we use and for same thing, and we use but for different. So I'm going to use but first because I see that Carmen, Phil, and Pedro they weren't at work yesterday. So Carmen, Phil, and Pedro are at work today, but they weren't at work yesterday. Right? Because yesterday, Laura, Bao, and Larry were at work. Not Carmen, Phil, and Pedro. So, but yesterday, when we look at the picture, John, Sandra, and Maggie, they are at work today and yesterday. So this is how I'm gonna write using and. John, Sandra, and Maggie are at work today, and they weren't at work yesterday. Now, can you see how you use, the difference between but and and? And is used for being same, so John, Sandra, and Maggie. But for Carmen, Phil, and Pedro, since they weren't at work yesterday, we had to use the word but because it's different. They're different people. Okay. And that's it for part 2 of today's video. Thanks for watching.